There's a moment in football history, roughly 2007 to 2009, when two players existed in such perfect, terrifying form that defenders would literally lose sleep before facing them. One was a Portuguese winger who moved like he'd been designed in a laboratory, specifically to humiliate fullbacks. The other was a Spanish striker so clinical that goalkeepers probably checked under their beds for him at night. Cristiano Ronaldo at Manchester United and Fernando Torres at Liverpool weren't just good, they were operating at a level that made world-class seem inadequate. And because football decided to be dramatic, these two absolute weapons played for clubs that already despised each other. So smash that subscribe button to stay updated on all our videos, because we're diving into one of the Premier League's most fascinating individual rivalries. Two players at their absolute peak, representing English football's fiercest feud, in an era when every match between them felt like watching a heavyweight title fight. Let's set the scene. It's 2007, and both Manchester United and Liverpool have just made transfers that will define the next few years of English football. United have Cristiano Ronaldo entering his fourth season, and he's evolved from that tricky step-over merchant into something genuinely frightening. Liverpool have just spent £20 million, a club record, on Fernando Torres from Atletico Madrid, and Anfield is buzzing with anticipation. These weren't just good players joining good teams. These were potential superstars arriving at clubs locked in the Premier League's most intense rivalry, and the timing couldn't have been more perfect for drama. Ronaldo in 2007 was transitioning. He'd always been talented. You don't sign for Manchester United at 18 unless you've got something special. But early Ronaldo was frustrating. A player who'd try 17 stepovers when a simple pass would do, who'd shoot from 40 yards when teammates were screaming for the ball. Alex Ferguson had spent years molding him, teaching him when to showboat and when to be direct, when to dribble and when to destroy. By the 2007-08 season, that education was complete. Ronaldo had transformed from a winger into a goal-scoring phenomenon. He was still doing the tricks, the step-overs, the Cruyff turns, the elasticos. But now they had purpose. Every piece of skill was designed to create space for a shot, and when Ronaldo shot, the ball had a disturbing habit of ending up in the back of the net. Torres arrived at Liverpool with a different reputation. He wasn't a trickster. He wasn't going to juggle the ball or rainbow flick defenders. Torres was a predator, the kind of striker who made runs so intelligent that by the time defenders realized what was happening, he was already through on goal. At Atletico, he'd been El Niño, the kid, a boyhood fan who became the club's hero. At Liverpool, he'd become something even more valuable, the striker who could finally compete with the best the Premier League had to offer. Their styles were polar opposites. Ronaldo was thunder and lightning, explosive, unpredictable, capable of scoring from anywhere on the pitch. Free kick from 30 yards, goal. Header from a corner, goal. Solo run from the halfway line, probably a goal. He demanded the ball, demanded attention, and when he got it, he made defenders look foolish before destroying them. Torres was ice cold. He didn't need 20 touches or elaborate build-up. Give him one chance, one moment, where the defensive line pushed up half a yard too high, and he'd ghost in behind with that deceptive acceleration that made him look like he was jogging until you realized he was already past you. Then came that calm finish, never rushed, always precise, like he was practicing in training rather than scoring in a crucial match. The 2007-08 season became a showcase for both players operating at levels that seemed almost unfair. Ronaldo scored 42 goals in all competitions. 42, a number that seemed absurd for a player who'd started his career as a winger. He won the Premier League, the Champions League, and every individual award available. He was the best player on the planet, and it wasn't particularly close. Torres scored 33 goals in his debut season at Liverpool, instantly becoming the most dangerous striker in England. He made Premier League defending look amateur, turning experienced centre-backs into nervous wrecks. Liverpool didn't win trophies that season, but Torres established himself as the one-player United defenders genuinely fear. And that's where this rivalry gets interesting, because when these teams faced each other, it became a direct comparison. Ronaldo's flair versus Torres's precision. United's attacking football versus Liverpool's counter-attacking threat. Every match was a test of which superstar could deliver when it mattered most. The first major collision came at Anfield on December 16, 2007. Liverpool 1, Manchester United 0. Torres didn't score, but his presence alone terrorized United's defense. But more importantly, it showed United weren't invincible, that Liverpool with Torres had a weapon capable of challenging the champions. But the real statement came on March 15, 2008, at Old Trafford. This is the match Liverpool fans still watch on repeat. The match United fans have probably tried to erase from memory. Liverpool won 4-1, and Torres absolutely destroyed Manchester United. Let me paint the picture. Old Trafford, theatre of dreams, packed with United fans expecting their team to crush Liverpool and march toward another title. Liverpool had other ideas, specifically ideas involving Fernando Torres running at Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic, like they weren't two of the Premier League's best defenders. Torres scored in the 23rd minute. A classic Liverpool counterattack. One moment United are pushing forward, the next Torres is through on goal with that frightening pace, rounding Edwin van der Sar and slotting home 1-0. The kind of goal that makes defenders feel helpless, because what are you supposed to do when a striker is that fast and that composed? He scored again in the 77th minute. Another counter, another moment of Torres doing what Torres did best, being in exactly the right place, making exactly the right run, finishing with exactly the right amount of calm. 2-0 became 4-1, and Torres had made Old Trafford silent. He'd gone to United's home, the fortress where they rarely lost, and put on a masterclass in clinical finishing. This wasn't just a win, this was a statement. While Ronaldo was collecting awards and breaking records, Torres had proven that in the biggest match of the season, in the rival's stadium, he could be the difference. Liverpool fans had their hero, and he just humiliated the team they hated most. Ronaldo's response was to win everything. United won the Premier League by 2 points over Chelsea. They won the Champions League, beating Chelsea on penalties in Moscow. Ronaldo scored in that final, collected the Ballon d'Or, and established himself as the world's best. But that 4-1 defeat stuck. Torres had gotten into United's heads in a way most players couldn't. The 2008-09 season raised the stakes even higher. Both players came in as established superstars. Ronaldo was the reigning Ballon d'Or winner. Torres was widely considered the Premier League's most dangerous striker. Liverpool believed they could genuinely challenge United for the title, and Torres was the weapon they'd use to do it. The rivalry intensified because both players were in absurd form. Ronaldo scored 26 goals in all competitions, despite injuries and clear indications he was already thinking about Real Madrid. Torres continued tormenting defenses, scoring 38 goals across all competitions. When these teams met, it felt like watching two heavyweight boxers who were also somehow playing chess. Physical, tactical, and absolutely crucial to their team's ambitions. September 13th, 2008, at Anfield. Liverpool 2, Manchester United 1. Torres assisted 1 goal and was a constant threat. Wes Brown got sent off trying to stop him. United's defense looked panicked every time Torres touched the ball, like they were facing a problem they couldn't solve. Ronaldo was quiet by his standards. Torres' team won, but Ronaldo had the last laugh that season. United won the Premier League again, holding off Liverpool's challenge. They reached another Champions League final. Ronaldo scored crucial goals when United needed them most, proving that while Torres might win individual battles, Ronaldo's United were winning the war. What made this rivalry compelling wasn't just their contrasting styles, it was how they represented different philosophies of attacking football. Ronaldo was individualism taken to its beautiful extreme. Give him the ball and let him create magic through pure skill and athleticism. He was the ultimate luxury player who happened to score 40 goals a season, making him not a luxury at all, but an absolute necessity. Torres represented team play perfected. He needed service, needed runners around him, needed a system that could release him into space. But when that system worked, Torres was unstoppable. He wasn't doing stepovers or showboating. He was just killing you with efficiency and intelligence. Their personalities differed too. Ronaldo was confidence bordering on arrogance, the guy who'd celebrate goals like he'd just conquered a nation. He wanted you to know he was the best, wanted the attention, wanted the spotlight. Torres was quieter, more reserved. He celebrated, sure, but there was something understated about him, something that suggested he was just doing his job even when that job involved destroying Premier League defenses. The respect between them was genuine. Both recognized they were facing elite talent every time they met, but the rivalry was real too. Not personal hatred, but professional pride. When Ronaldo scored and United won, it proved his philosophy worked. When Torres delivered and Liverpool won, it proved his approach was just as valid. The defensive battles were fascinating. Vidic and Ferdinand, two of Europe's best center-backs, had nightmares about Torres. His pace, his movement, his finishing. It was a combination that exposed every weakness in United's high defensive line. Torres scored crucial goals against United throughout this period, each one a reminder that even the best defenses could be picked apart by the perfect striker. Meanwhile, Ronaldo tormented every defense he faced. Liverpool tried everything, pressing him high, doubling up on him, showing him onto his weaker foot. Nothing worked consistently. Ronaldo would find a way. A free kick, a header, a moment of individual brilliance that reminded everyone why he was the best player on the planet. The 2008-09 season ended with Ronaldo leaving for Real Madrid, and Torres' Liverpool falling just short of the title. The rivalry's peak had passed, lasting really just 2 seasons when both players were at their absolute best, playing for these historic rivals, delivering performances that defined an era. Torres would struggle after this. Injuries, declining pace, and a disastrous move to Chelsea that tarnished his legacy. Ronaldo would go on to become arguably the greatest goalscorer in football history, winning everything multiple times over. But for those 2 years, from 2007 to 2009, they were equals. 2 players at their peak, representing football's most intense club rivalry, providing moments that fans still debate today. What made Ronaldo versus Torres special wasn't longevity, it was intensity. Every match between United and Liverpool during this period carried the weight of these 2 superstars. Every goal either scored felt significant. Every time they faced each other, you were watching 2 completely different approaches to attacking football, both executed at the highest possible level. Ronaldo was art, beautiful, elaborate, impossible to look away from. Torres was precision, efficient, deadly, exactly what you needed when you needed it most. Football is big enough for both philosophies, and for 2 glorious years, we got to watch them collide repeatedly in the Premier League's most storied rivalry. So there's your deep dive into when 2 absolute weapons existed simultaneously, played for clubs that hated each other, and gave us matches that still hold up as examples of peak performance under pressure. Ronaldo went on to become a legend, Torres' star faded too quickly, but for that brief window, they were equals, and their rivalry gave us some of the Premier League's most memorable moments. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button for more breakdowns of football's greatest individual battles. And remember, sometimes the best rivalries aren't the longest ones. They're just the ones that burn brightest while they last. Cheers.